A very good morning, Zimbabwe. My name is Ronald Kwamakusha, and I'm back so that we can talk about important matters because we made a pledge put up to 2023 tinenge tichitaura chokwadi defending our struggle as young people. So 2023 elections are fast approaching, and my message, first of all, is that let us register to vote and remove ZANU PF. So today, this morning, I want to talk about ZANU PF propaganda on sanctions. Are sanctions real on Zimbabwe? Are sanctions really affecting us as Zimbabweans, as ZANU is telling us? And I want to take a look on what a ZANU PF propagandist Rutendo Matinyarare said to clearly respond, because they spread propaganda. We have a mandate to actually come and respond. So Rutendo Matinyarara came and said, according to United Nations Human Rights Report 5133, sanctions report on Zimbabwe, he said that sanctions have increased robbery, smuggling, drug trafficking, corruption, and other crimes. And I need to respond to that. The question is, how are sanctions promoting robbery, smuggling, drug trafficking, and corruption? So I would want to point this out. Secondly, he said that this is because government is losing judges, lawyers, prosecutors due to low pay and there's no technology to fight crime. Okay, fair and fine. Zimbabwe does have a very tight relationship with China. Why is China not helping Zimbabwe to fight corruption? Why is China not helping Zimbabwe with latest technology? Why is Russia not helping Zimbabwe with latest technology to fight corruption, to fight crime? This is a blue line. We have been proposing to say, let us implement a digital economy. And a digital economy was going to reduce corruption by almost 7 or more. But they have refused. George Charamba told me personally, that will allowed vakuru havazvide izvozvozvo. Your idea might be good, but it will never be allowed. George Charamba himself. And he ended up blocking me because I was pestering him, telling him the truth, to say, guys, you're talking about corruption each and every day. Why can't you implement a digital economy? It's manageable. A digital economy is manageable. How are we losing judges? It's because ZANU PF is capturing those judges, is using those judges kuti vange vachitonga nyaya in their favor. Look at the cases of Job Sikala. The credibility and integrity of the judicial system is vaporized. We no longer have integrity in the judicial system. We no longer have integrity in the judges, because these judges are being used to fight political battles. So you cannot blame sanctions on the issue of judges, on the issue of lawyers whatsoever, because these lawyers and these judges, they are being involved in corruption, not because of sanctions, but it's because of the government, because of the politicians, because the same politicians are the same people who are benefiting vachienda vachinovhundudzira majaji, but havagumire ipapo, vanopedzisira vakutoenda vachinobribha majaji nekuseri. That is the culture which is there. It's not about sanctions. Look at the country called Cuba. Cuba has been under sanctions for a very long time. Are they complaining about sanctions? No. It's because they have mechanisms in place to make their economy functions. Look at the prosecutors. The prosecutors are being used to fight political battles, are being used to fight for politicians. The integrity of prosecutors is no longer there. Look at people like Michael Reza. Michael Reza is appearing on each and every political case. Why? Is he the only prosecutor in the nation of Zimbabwe? They always appear on very sensitive cases. Is he the only prosecutor in the nation of Zimbabwe? Look at the case of Kereke. Kereke was jailed through private prosecution, but public prosecution failed to jail him. It's not because of anything. It's because of political interference. So he is mixing political interference with sanctions. How does political interference becomes sanctions? That is the reason why America is always saying you have to reform, you have to make sure that you observe the rule of law. It's because of political interference. So you are talking about technology. Why is China not providing technology? You're talking about judges. Why are you not paying judges? Why are you not letting the judges be independent? Okay, let us take a look on the issue of robberies. Robberies are being done mostly, like these days, are being done by the police, by the police officers, by the military officers, by the armed people, the armed forces. It's because of the salaries. Mutuli Ncube is on record saying that masalaries ari kupiwa ma-civil servants anokwana. Why is the government not saying that vari kupa ma-civil servants ma-slave wages? Because if we want to have a conversation, if we want to have an honest conversation, let us agree that you are giving civil servants slave wages. The moment we begin to agree that you are giving them slave wages, we can have a conversation. But you cannot bring a conversation about sanctions here when you are not acknowledging that you are giving civil servants slave wages. You are not paying civil servants well. So what do? They end up being involved in robberies. Let us take a look on NASA. Who is benefiting from NASA? If the government was sincere, people are making contributions through NASA. Government can open mines using NASA funds. Government of Zimbabwe can open mines, and those mines can be used to benefit saving workers through NASA. Yes, you can open my mines, you can open my industries, my businesses using those funds. But who is benefiting from those funds? Look at Priska Mfumira. Because of NASA funds which were looted. And those funds were looted and they benefited a few individuals. They are taking NASA funds, they invest in their own businesses, they make money out of it, and they don't pay anything. And at the end of the day, you are telling us about sanctions. Look at the issue of smuggling. It's because of ZANU PF people. ZANU PF people have a tendency of smuggling Zimbabwe. Why? Is because they own some shops downtown, they own some shops kuma locations, and vanosmugglers goods into Zimbabwe without paying duty, vachienda vachinotengesa in their shops at very low prices kuti vaite quick returns, vokasika kudzokera kunohodha vachiunza zvimwe zvinhu. It is ZANU PF people and ZANU PF connected people. Drug trafficking is not being done by ordinary people. These are ZANU PF people who are doing it. So when you look at all those things, ZANU PF people like Matanyarare who come and blame sanctions, sanctions this, sanctions that. The question is Renireta Rushwaya? She was caught smuggling gold. Where is she? Was she made an example? No. She was caught smuggling gold at OR Tambo International Airport. Was she made an example? Was he made an example? No. Who has been made an example in terms of smuggling? Where is the intelligence? Because the intelligence is the most paid department in the nation of Zimbabwe. Where are they? Why are they not acting? Why are they not doing the needful to make sure that they deal with such issues? It's because of political interference. Vakabata vakuru zvinonzi wamabata ivavavo havaite. You are fired, you are demoted, you are transferred. That is the culture within the government of Zimbabwe. So they'll come and blame sanctions this, sanctions that. I want them to show me vanhu vakaiswa mujere just because of corruption, just because of looting, just because of all those shenanigans dziri kuitika. So secondly, he speaks about Zimbabwe route to EU, and he says that it doesn't mean Zimbabwe is not under sanctions. So he went on to say it means sanctions are destroying Zim industry and turned Zim into a banana republic that specializes in exporting cheap fruits and to earn to forex to import a few expensive Western industrial goods. And let me respond to it. Zimbabwe managed to destroy the car industry. Zimbabwe managed to destroy the industry itself. I want to give you an example of someone called Daniel Chingoma. If it was in America, Daniel Chingoma would have been assisted by the government. Daniel Chingoma ari ega managed kugadzira chikopokopo chake. Whether it's substandard or not, he managed to do something. He was very passionate about engineering. He was very passionate about making aircraft. But what happened? The government of Zimbabwe itself failed him. They never supported Daniel Chingoma. What support did they offer to Daniel Chingoma? None. So with people like Daniel Chingoma, they would have harnessed his talent very long time back, decades ago. Vakatotanga kushanda naye. Izvezvizvi Zimbabwe ingadai ine helicopter helicopter yaDaniel Chingoma kana Zimbabwean government yanga yakamusapota, that helicopter could have been in the skies at this moment in time. But they failed him. And at the end of the day, they will continue to blame sanctions, sanctions this, sanctions that. It's very, very difficult to register a company in the nation of Zimbabwe. Not only that, it's very difficult to do something in the nation of Zimbabwe. Izvezvizvi ndikanzi ndagadzira pfuti nhasi, I get arrested and they will charge me with terrorism. Yes. Truth. I know a lot of young people with potential. Vanhu vaitori neidea yekuti we can do ABCD in terms of manufacturing things in the industry. Are they getting support? No. The government is not there for them. The government is there to buy my Ford Rangers. The government is there to buy my Range Rovers. The government is there to buy my very big houses for themselves and their families. Are there to send their kids abroad to very expensive schools, but not there for the people. So you will see kuti they will continue to say, yeah, it's sanctions, sanctions this, sanctions that. But the honest truth is that it's not sanctions. It is corruption. It's not sanctions, it is looting. It's not sanctions, it's mismanagement, incompetency, and uselessness within the government of Zimbabwe. And we need to address this. We cannot continue to let them spread propaganda unchecked. Time for propaganda is gone. Look at ZBC. Who destroyed ZBC? It is ZANU PF. Look at SABC and look at ZBC. Which one is better than the other? Look at Zambia Broadcasting Corporation and look at ZBC. It's a shame. It's a shame. ZBC is operating like social media platforms. Why? ZBC is there for propaganda. What sanctions are causing ZBC to run propaganda? What sanctions? Look at ZBC employees. They are forced to do slogans. They are forced to do ZANU PF PR. Forced to do useless things instead of them bringing media to the people. They are focusing on useless things. There are repressive laws in the nation of Zimbabwe. And these repressive laws are not coming from America, are not coming from any other country. They are coming from the Zimbabwean government itself. Go into the business sector, repressive laws are there. Into the media sector, repressive laws are there. You cannot register a television platform in Zimbabwe freely. Why? Izvezvi ngavape open up my license for media. You will see a lot of people venturing into that media space. But the Zimbabwean government will tell you, tirikuda ma-investors kuti vauye vazoinvesta in the media industry. Vanoenda kunotsvaga ma-investors in the media industry. But we have capacity to run. If the government of Zimbabwe is keen to open up the media space, you will see local investors getting into that. Zimbabwean government focuses on foreign direct investment, but they don't care about direct investment. They don't care about us. They don't care about me getting into business, but they care about the Chinese getting into business. So before you talk about the Americans, before you talk about any other country coming into Zimbabwe, talk about the Zimbabweans themselves. Who is buying tobacco from the farmers? Selling it at $9 plus on the foreign markets, but buying it at $2 from here, from the domestic market. These are ZANU PF affiliated Chinese companies which are buying tobacco from our farmers. Yes, but they will continue to blame sanctions. They will tell us the sanctions this, sanctions that. And that and the Zimbabweans, let us unite and make sure that we fight back with this propaganda. Let us make sure that we don't let them spread this propaganda unchecked. Jackie Ngwenyan's propaganda is Zimbabwe sanction. It's not the American issue. Yes, thank you very much, Jackie Ngwenya. A very, 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 very valid point there. Propaganda has killed Zimbabwe. Propaganda is killing Zimbabwe because the amount of money they invest in propaganda. Because they're not just doing propaganda for nothing. They are being paid. Antoana makupons, ane motikari, Antoana a salary from this propaganda. Asiri ega. Vanhu vese vamuri kuona vakaungana paZimbabwe embassy vere. They are benefiting vari kutobhadharwa ivo paipai. Vari kutobhadharwa vana kugarira ipapo mahara. All that money which is being wasted can be used to do other things. Zimbabwe does have a foreign ministry, and that foreign ministry, what are they doing if they are not engaging America on those issues? Why do you want to use people, ordinary people, to fight those battles for you? So you see, guys, Kuti, we have a duty, we have a job to make sure that we come up with the truth, we come up and expose ZANU PF propaganda. This is cheap propaganda. We are not going to allow them to do whatever they want. They will continue to do it, but we will continue to come and tell the truth. It is corruption, not sanctions. Who has been convicted and who has been sentenced for a very long time because of corruption? If they can show me one person, I will begin to support their narrative on sanctions. But if there is none, I will never support such idiocy. So this is it, Team Zimbabwe. My name is Ronald. Thank you very much for coming on a Sunday. Let us meet in other episodes and other programs.